Wait till Pitbull get back. Oh, where the fuck is my hoodie at, man?
Attention all debate fans. You've been watching, you've been arguing, you've been picking sides. But now it's time to level up. From this point forward, all debates on this platform are going members only. That means the hottest clashes, the wildest arguments, and your favorite personalities going head to head will only be available to subscribers. You want real scholarship, you want the smoke, you want the unfiltered action, then don't get left outside looking in. Sign up today for as low as $3.99 and get full access to every debate, every moment, every knockout argument. This is Titans Debate League, where legends are made and debates get real. Join now or miss out.
Where Pitbull at? Is Pitbull in the comments, Quantum?
Somebody go get that coward. Somebody go get him.
My bad, I wasn't on the stage. He just stepped out for a second. He should be
somebody go get that little man.
Stepping back in. What's up today? How y'all doing, man?
You already know. What's up? It's your boy, Humble Mystic, hosting the man. Listen, this debate right here gonna be wild. My man ASE versus my man Pitbull. Does the Bible have polytheistic origins? My man ASE is on. Actually, my man Pitbull is on ASE is on affirmative, saying that it does, and Pitbull is arguing against that, saying that it does not. Y'all already know. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna let my brothers go what it is with their intros. What's up, brother ASE? We're gonna kick it off with brother ASE. Go ahead, brother ASE. Your 3 minutes starting now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my 3 minutes because dog, he might not even show. He might have reconsidered even showing up to this thing. So what we finna do right now, man, is we're gonna have we gonna observe what the scholars say.
I can't hear y'all.
We go observe what the scholars say.
I'm pausing your time real quick, ASE. You can't hear his Pitbull. Mic check. Hey, Quantum, drop him down.
Pitbull, you can't hear. You probably gonna have to leave and come back. Can you hear me? Okay, he can't hear nobody. I'm gonna have to drop him in. Tell him to come back.
So as I was saying, man, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna shed that layer of pseudoism, or that pure belief, just pure religion, right? With the idea that somehow Yahweh is these Israelites' God. We're gonna show that Yahweh was not their original the God of that region. Absolutely not. So if Yahweh is not the original deity where the Israelites are even birthed, then who was?
Right.
What was going on?
Pitbull, can you hear ASE?
I can hear y'all now.
All right.
Hey, real quick.
Go ahead.
I need to send you my slides.
Send them to Quantum. Matter of fact, you can send them to me. Yeah, I'm on the laptop. You can send them to me. You want to send them to me through Facebook or what? Or Gmail?
I'm gonna have to do the email.
I'm about to send you my email right now on Facebook. All right, Pitbull, send them to me. I just sent you my join on Facebook.
Say what?
Send me your I just sent you my
No, I'm talking to my daughter.
email on Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so just let me know when you sent them, Pitbull. But go ahead, Ashe. I'm gonna start your 2 minutes. I'm gonna start. You got 2:42, Ashe. Go ahead. I'm gonna start you now.
Yeah. So where was I? We just here to really dispel that idea, that flagrant foul on the play that the Hebrew Israelites may do, and a lot of other Jews do as well, with this crazy idea that this southern Midianite warrior, young deity at that, is somehow now transitioned into a father god, elder, a wise, and all of these things that are just are attributes of El. If I do have to say so myself, and we're going to look at a lot of more polytheism within the text than with these guys as well, because this is just a theme. This is a theme, and so the things I'm going to show here today are not things that we haven't already seen before, right? Like, we're not new to this stuff. Those are actually been in the conscious community, actually looking at it and doing their observation historically, archaeologically, right? Studying what the archaeologists are saying, looking at the pottery, what's left behind, and it all hints to the site polytheism. We see polytheism all throughout that history of these people, and we'll observe the shift into monotheism as well. We'll observe how even when the Bible presents itself to us, it's not monotheism. It's not monotheism. It's impossible. So we're going to observe this. We'll see all of these things. Of course, I've always had the scholars to back me. I'm pretty sure my partner is going to, I said my partner. My opponent is going to come here with a lot of religion, a lot of dogma, a lot of biblical narratives that have been created through the Masoretic understanding to promote this ideology of this one world God who is responsible for everything. When we actually observed, that was not his role at first. So that's my time, man, on my introduction. Let y'all know what y'all should be privy to coming into this debate and what y'all should be expecting from me. So, yeah, you can pass it over to Dude and let him come on in.
Most definitely. It's on you, Pitbull. Hold on, let me get his screen and stuff together first. Hey man, you need to get us some better Wi-Fi.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep, hear you. It's on you now, Pitbull. Your 3 minutes starting now, bro.
Shalom. It's Pitbull at 144. I'm here on behalf of Deuteronomy 32:7 and a couple of other topics, but mainly that. My opponent is claiming that in this verse of the Torah that there's multiple deities there. My aim is to show that that's not true, number one, and also show that the God of Israel is not all these other gods and these other pantheons. And I'm going to show this by showing all of the deities in this region, this Levantine area, and how their gods are different in their particular pantheon. And the Bible also relates to this as well when he talks about in the chapter Deuteronomy that he chose and took Israel for his portion, right? And made them his people, setting apart them and himself from all other deities that these other nations serve. Now, my opponent has a very, in my opinion, ambidextrous and outdated viewpoint on this because he's going to be showing a lot of parallels in information in words and verbiage that come from the same language group to try and solidify his point. But what it's not going to be able to show is the equalness in how the text that he's trying to describe harmonize together when they don't. He's going to have to show that they are actually indicating the same. Parallels do not equal the same. Similarities do not equal the same. So I want you guys to pay close attention to his attempt to give you parallel information. And like I said, according to the scholars, outdated information with some of the framework that he's going to try to use in this debate. And that's what we're going to do here tonight. So I'll sit back, get your popcorn, and enjoy what we're about to do here. Show enough. Shout out to the platform. Shout out to Humble. Shout out to ASE even. But we finna get it cracking though.
All right. As y'all heard, this is these brothers' intros. We now gonna move on to the first round. 10 minutes, brother ASE. Are you ready? All right.
Let's go. Let's get it in, bro.
Go ahead.
So let's go.
Now.
We dealing with the two-God Bible. Multiple text inscriptions and linguistic evidence point to a divine council headed by who? El, with Yahweh originally functioned as one of the members of that council before latest Jewish theology moved towards exclusive monotheism, which we'll talk about later. Many historians of ancient Israelite religion argue that biblical monotheism did not appear all at once. Instead, it developed over centuries from an earlier environment in which multiple divine beings were acknowledged. The debate is about how that development occurred, not whether later Judaism became firmly monotheistic, right? Because that's plain. So let's go. Who was Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh before Israel adopted him? The oldest biblical tradition often portrays Yahweh as the deity associated with southern regions. We see Seir, Paran, Timar, Edom. El was originally a supreme deity, while Yahweh was a southern warrior deity. Yahweh is later identified with El. Thus, El's title becomes Yahweh's title. This would explain why later texts treat Yahweh as a creator and supreme ruler, while the older traditions preserve distinctions between Elyon and Yahweh. As we'll see right here, you'll see Edom, Midian, that's all below Canaan, all southern. So more on Yahweh from the south. When you open the book itself in Habakkuk 3:3, it says, God came from Teman in a holy mount, from Mount Paran, Selah. Deuteronomy 33:2, Yahweh came from Sinai and dawned from Seir upon us. He shone forth from Mount Paran. It's all in the south, family. Judges 5:4-5, Yahweh, when you went out from Seir, when you marched from the region of Edom, marching from one region to another region, these are the attributes of a warrior deity. When you marched from the region of Edom, the earth trembled. Together, these passages depict Yahweh as coming from the south, Seir, Edom, Teman, Paran, Sinai, rather than originating in traditional Canaan heartland. This is one reason scholars propose that Yahweh worship entered Israel from southern regions and was later identified with El, the older high god of the West Semitic pantheons. Keep going. Well, here's a map, family. Edom is north of Mount Sinai. So if he came from Sinai, he was deep. He was deep in the south. Then he hit Mount Seir over here, went across the street to Mount Paran, then come up to Edom. But if you let these Hebrews tell you, Edomites, God hated Edom. God hated Esau, hated him from the womb. When we do our archaeology, we find out that he actually coming from that way. This is where he coming from. And then we'll get to that later. Oh, here we go right here. Who did the Midianites and the Edomites worship? Hebrews? Can you tell us? No, you cannot. The Bible does not clearly preserve the names of specific Midianite gods as a defined Midianite pantheon. Instead, it mostly describes the Midianites in relation to Israel's God, right? Because he's mentioning, he says, For I knew you, and he has association with Edom. He's not disassociating himself. He has associated him. He even goes as far as to tell you that you cannot abhor Edomite. So, it's a strong possibility because even be their God as well. Moses' father-in-law is a Midianite priest in Exodus 3:1. In Exodus 18:1, he is called priest of Midian. But interestingly, he recognizes and blesses Yahweh after hearing the Exodus story in 18:10, 18:12. Same for the Edomites, no God name, none is mentioned. But for the Ammonites and the Moabites, their gods are listed. In 1 Kings 11:7, they say, then Solomon built a high place for Shamash. Ain't Solomon a Hebrew? Here we go, more Hebrews in there, and they're in their polytheistic ways. Then Solomon built a high place for Shamash, the abomination of Moab, on the mountain east of Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the Ammonites. Keep going. Deuteronomy 32:8-9. This is where we get to the meat. Already. First round popping off. Dead Sea Scrolls version. And in the Dead Sea Scrolls, when you read these, because I've seen somebody even in the comments before the debate started, they said that the Masoretic lines up with the original Torah Pentateuch. That's not with the original Samaritan Pentateuch. That's not true. We'll observe this right here because the Samaritan Pentateuch aligns up with the Dead Sea Scroll, which aligns up with the Greek Septuagint. So what does it say? When the Elyon divided the nations, when he separated humanity, he fixed the boundaries of the peoples according to the numbers of the sons of God. Who is God right here? That's Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, Yahweh. But Yahweh's portion was his people. Jacob, his allotted inheritance. No, it's according to the number of the sons of God. Here God is El. But Yahweh's portion was his people. Jacob, his allotted inheritance. The oldest textual witnesses of the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Greek Septuagint. The phrase is sons of God. When you go into the Masoretic, they changed that. Now we're dealing with the sons of Israel. They taken away that divine counsel epithet that was going on. Scholars such as Mark F. Smith argues that this passage depicts Elyon, which would mean El, the Most High, because you can't say that they means God and God. That'd just be crazy. So we see the name for the God right here is El. Elyon means the highest God, the high God. So it wouldn't be God, the high God. It'll be El, the Elyon, assigning the nations to divine beings. And here we go, Yahweh receiving Israel as his allotted nation. This resembles the divine council known from the text of Ugarit, where the god El presides over the lesser deities, where El is the father of the other deities. He draws councils and stuff like that. We observed that. We've been talking about that, right? So for this man, for them to say that this God is the God of the entire earth, he created everything. For in the beginning, the word was formless without void, they said. And he came on and he added everything. How can you give him a portion of something? That's like me buying a pizza and I so order the pizza, you as a guest who I'm feeding tell me what I'm going to get. That ain't how that works. And Yahweh is the most high. He only becomes the most high to Israel. So we'll go on to Psalm 82. Let's observe the divine council. God stands in the assembly of El. In the midst of the gods, he judges. The Hebrew uses Elohim twice. Elohim stands in the council of El. Among the Elohim, he judges. The straightforward reading is that one deity is addressing other divine beings. The later Jewish and Christian interpreters often reinterpret these beings as angels of human judgment, but many scholars view the psalm as preserving an older divine council tradition. Here we have on the right, Michael Coogan and Marquez Smith put this good one together. Stories from ancient Canaan, where they go in on this. We'll talk about them both, Michael D. Coogan and Marquez Smith later. Psalm 89, 5-7, describe the assembly of the holy ones and the sons of God. Notice every time it says sons of God, it's saying the sons of El. It ain't never go present you a verse that says sons of Yahweh, because that ain't what he do. The imagery again parallels the councils of gods found in the Canaanite religion. Genesis chapter 6, verses 1-4. The sons of God take wives from the human women and produce the Nephilim. Ancient Jewish texts such as First Enoch interpret these beings as heavenly divine entities. the passage assumes the existence of supernatural beings distinct from Yahweh, demigods, even if you would, right? Keep going. Yahweh, El, was not originally identical. That's what we had to just break down. So we see on the right, we see El, and they done did all of this stuff for Yahweh. They done called him El. They didn't even call him Baal. For in the Hebrew, the word Baal is Lord. So if you think that they ain't calling Yahweh Baal, then you thought wrong. So you see how you get this mix up when you get to dealing with this Masoretic? See how you get this mix up? So we got three deities here. We got El right here, Baal, who is almost in competition and trying to get El's spot in the Ugaritic Baal cycle. And then we have Yahweh. Ancient Northwest Semitic religion had a chief deity named El. Characteristics later applied to Yahweh were originally associated with El. We go break that down. El was the creator, father of the gods, an ancient king, and most important, the most high God. Many scholars argue that Israelite religion gradually merged Yahweh with El. Yahweh stole El's identity, plain as day. When you imagine the old bearded individual in relation to God, that is literally El's portrayal. They don't have the academic honesty to admit this. We all done seen it. Big white dude, long gray beard, long gray hair, supposed to be like the representation of an old wise man.
All right. That is time. Hey, my man ASE over there dropping bombs, man. My man ASE over here dropping bombs. Hey, Pitbull, you ready? I hope you ready, Brody. I hope you got something to fight back with.
Yeah. Start me off with that 60 round piece. I'm gonna ease into it and get some of that. And then I sent you two clips. One was like a 10 slide, and then I had a 66 slide. I'm gonna pull a lot from that 66, but I'm gonna base it off that 10 slider.
All right, hold on one second. Let me go back. All right, so which one you want me to pull first?
Yeah, start with that one right there. Is that 10 slider or a 66 slider?
I think this got 10 slides in it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this 10 slides.
Yeah, let's start with this. I'm gonna do like the first 5 of these.
All right, hold on. Let me blow it up for you real quick. All right.
I'm not on my computer. That's why I'm not camming up. I'm not on my computer. All right. Can you make it a little bit bigger?
A little bit bigger. Let's get it. Hold on.
Because I'm on my phone, bro. All right. So let's deal with these regional deities versus Yahuwah's set apartness, like my opponent is trying to claim. Notice how he's saying parallels, just like I said, right? But when we get to the Hebrew text, which has their own language, right? All of these different pantheons that he's mentioning have their own set language, but they all draw from the same family root, right? Semitic languages, Levant language, that Afro-Asiatic, right? So when we use words like El, right? These are titles in the Hebrew understanding because he actually gives a name in the text. But let's deal with Deuteronomy 32:7 for a minute. We're going to get back to that. So it says right here in the text, it says Yahuwah, the Lord, Elohim did lead him. What slide is this? Now you got to start at the top. That's not the first slide.
This is the first slide. Hold on. Yeah, this is the first slide right here. Hold on. Yeah, first slide.
It must be backwards. But I'll go from here. It's cool.
You want me to bring up the 66 and see what that shows?
Yeah, let's do the 66, bro.
All right, hold on. Let me
stop. That's not even in the order.
All right, stop your time.
And I already paused this time. It's at 52 seconds.
Okay.
It ain't gonna work, brother. It ain't gonna work. You doing parallels.
All right, let's share this right here.
I'm gonna show this set of partners. And you just admit all these nations got deities. According to their text, my text, and everybody else's text.
You want to see right
here? Yeah, let's start there. Let's just rock off this. Yahuwah associated across the ancient Near East pantheons, right? So we're gonna delve into this for a minute. We start the time and go to the first slide on this here. And this is a map of that region. So everybody in this region spoke the same dialect or had spoke from the same family root in linguistics, right? Out of the same origins. So similarities in pronunciating in certain meanings, right, could parallel. But what we gonna see in this Hebrew understanding, right, is it's set apart from all these other deities. Let's go to the next slide.
All right, hold on one second. I got you.
All right. So again,
Yep.
So again, Deuteronomy 37:12, this is showing Yahuwah alone, right? This understanding through the Hebrew construct. There's no other way to place this when it comes down to this specific people. So all these things that are outside of what he said does not apply to what the Hebrews did within their culture, because all these other deities, like he admitted, all these other nations, like he admitted, had their own deities. So let's get into it. In Deuteronomy 32:8, right, it says in the Hebrew text, when the Most High divided and gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, he fixed the borders of the people according to the numbers of the sons of Elohim, or God. But Yahuwah's portion is his people, Jacob, his allotted, or an inheritance. So right here, we can clearly see out the gate that this is a separation outside of what he's saying. And in this text right here, is showing you that Yahuwah is the Most High, because he portioned, right, and possessed Jacob as his allotted inheritance, right? This language screams family in the ENE framing to the elephantine that Yahuwah's specific, exclusive possession or allotment is Jacob's and Israel, the sons of Moses, are the whole parish. So Yahuwah, as the God who acts in history, delivers his people, and judges false gods, is this one. None of what he just said about these other deities in the pantheons did what the text says Yahuwah did. None of the other deities that took on this title did that. You hear me? Of El, because El is a title for Yahuwah. It means Most High, but Yahuwah has a name, which is in the English, in the Hebrew, Yod Hey Wahid. The Tetragrammaton is 4, right? It means 4 letters. YHWH. When you get into these other pantheons, it's either shortened by a character letter, YHW, and it's Yahu. And you're going to see him bring this up later on. And this shows you right here by the annunciation, number one, it's not the same deity, but by the required understanding. Next slide. It does not teach the pantheon divides its borders, right? So Yahuwah versus other deities, right? Multiple deities in other pantheons, like with overlapping dominance, like the storm, the fertility, the war, the wisdom. All of these other nations had deities that they worship that specialized in one of these things. So he's trying to attributally say that this is Yahuwah, but we just saw in my last slide that Yahuwah judges all of those gods, right? Often have consorts. Yahuwah has no consort. You see? That's a difference in separation of who and what they're saying is going on, right? And the requirement in negotiations don't show the same. Human-like flaws and parallel movements among gods. Worship often involved images and local codes. This is what outside pantheons, like what he just brought to you, right? What he just showed you in his first round. Now, when it comes down to the Hebrew text and what Yahuwah Elohim, who he's titling El, right? Not the name for the deity, but what sets Yahuwah apart from the deity El that was worshipped by outside people of Israel is the exclusivity no consort, no revolt in official theology. So no rival in official theology. There's no other gods that is competing with him like he's claiming he was competing with other gods. This is out of control. And this is what the history says, according to the theology, right? Now, Acts through covenant, these other nations did not have this same understanding as he's trying to inflict on the information. These other tribes that had these deities had no covenant agreement with their God. They didn't care. Their gods didn't care if they worship other gods alongside them because that was their national god. So that was their national god. So why would it not be worshipped by the people in its section? Now, when we look at rejected systems and foreign gods, again, all of the deities that he just named, Yahuwah would reject. Now, we know that the Edomites came into that region at the same time or about around the same time as the Hebrews, and the Edomites have their own God. I'm going to show y'all that in a little while. But pay attention to how he's showing everybody parallels, but he's not contextualizing what the Hebrews text says versus what all these other pantheons texts say in worship and practice. This is how you really see what a God does by his attributes, right? So it doesn't partner as solar gods with chosen and covenant with Israel. These other gods don't have that. Next slide, brother. Now, the 6-step framework is how the scholars like Mark X. Smith has established how they view these things, and it's proven a reliable method of evidential every claim fairly and consensus. It keeps the analyst grounded in the primary text rather than speculation highlights what remains debated. So what I'm saying right now is most of the things that my opponent is claiming is still being debated, and there's no solid foundation of evidence to solidify other than the parallels that he's been naming, right? The parallels that he's been naming is totally obsolete of what the deity of the Hebrews or the God of the Hebrew people required for them in worship. Now, quoting primary text plus non-Hebrew verbiage, these things are tactics, linguistical plus theological annihilations, shared roots, punts in Sumerian TIs, equal rib/flesh life. All of these things were used to try to say that they're the same or it's a replacement, but they just parallel. They're not the same because it's a totally different story. The outcomes are different and the requirements are different. The God's functionality is different, right? So function of frequent/epistolic stories in its origin pantheon/cult. See, this is what he wants to do. He wants to take these pantheons outside of their nation and place it on a people and say that they consume that deity when the worship and the requirements, again, of that deity is something that's totally different. The historical setting in the periods of contact, trade, empires, exile, structure dismissal, all of these things are being utilized to analyze, is these things true? But here's the point. The scholar consensus are still debating most of what he just said. So the modern, oh, that's the time.
Okay. That's time right there. My man Pitbull came up here swinging back. Okay, Pitbull. All right, we're going to move on to our second round. The second round can either be a rebuttal round or a continuation of your first round. Let me take this down.
I'm going to do both.
Your first round. So we're going to go back over here with Brother Ashe. Your 10 minutes starting now, brother, whenever you start.
What, dude? Okay, bro. I ain't know it was going to be this easy, bro. Humble. We got to do better. We got to give you better opponents. It ain't going to be this easy. He did exactly what I said he's going to do. So
No, you did exactly
you
what.
gotta,
Oh, my
you gotta
bad.
mute out. All right. Now it's funny because he said you see all of these other gods. He said some key things I want to point out before I continue. He said you see these other gods that they're fighting, that they're not fighting Yahweh. Yahweh's fighting them. That's how the Baal cycle go. Baal is a challenger. Because your God is the new guy on the block, of course, everybody else solidified. Everybody else got their titles. They set up. It's your God who's fighting for their spots, which I'm going to expose. I'm going to expose him. Your God ain't nothing but he like Kratos, a real God of war, as it says in your own text. And every time he take out a deity, or every time he take over a space and place, we're going to see him. He's going to, just like Kratos, when you would beat a god, he would take some of the god regalia, or like take the chains, take the wings of Icarus. We're going to see Yahweh absorbing other gods' attributes. That's what we about to show. You know, and it was also funny that he blatantly said, man, we see these other gods have deities. That's going to contradict what Daniel and them felt. It really is. So with no further ado, back to the demonstration. Let's go into the archaeological evidence. The inscriptions from Kuntalir Arjuru contain phrases such as Yahweh in his Asherah. Oh, I thought he said he's no consort. He said no consort, didn't he? He said no consort. But Kuntalir Arjuru contains phrases such as Yahweh in his Asherah. This suggests some Israelites believe Yahweh had a divine consort, similar to other ancient Near Eastern deities. Likewise, we have finds from Kerbet El Kum with similar language. I mean, and we go look at that. So we'll see it right there. The language was written in his favor, and they're talking about Yahweh and his Asherah. I won't even go into the actual imagery because that's highly debatable. But what we cannot debate is what's being said on it. So we'll go into Kuntalir Arjuru with some more phrases on there, because that ain't it. We got a couple Yahwehs. Wait, hold on. A couple Yahwehs? What you mean, I say? So we got the phrases Yahweh of Samaria and Yahweh of Teman, come mainly from the 8th century BCE Hebrew inscriptions, not biblical books. They show that Yahweh was understood in different regional forms tied to geography, right? So it says right here, to Yahweh of Teman and his Asherah, all of what he requires of a man to act with composition, and Yahweh will give him according to his heart. Inscriptions on the Pythos beat. Amarayanu says, to my Lord, are you in peace? I blessed you by Yahweh of Teman, and by his Asherah. May he bless you and keep you and be with you, my Lord. More of it down here. Fragments on the plaster, very broken. May the days be long, and may they be satisfied. Yahweh of Teman and his Asherah. Yahweh of Teman and his Asherah favor. Yahweh of Teman. What? So we'll see why. Because he's talking about there was a name given. I want him to talk about the name given. It ain't no name given. Made it up. Fringe. Didn't I see that in the chat? Fringe. All titles. No names. Kerbet El Kum. The Kerbet El Kum inscriptions are a collection of Iron Age Paleo-Hebrew texts discovered in Elite Burial Cave in 1967. The most famous tomb pillar inscription dates to the 8th century BCE and is highly significant for the ancient Near Eastern religious history. The defaced limestone inscriptions generally translate as follows. Right? And that's what I was giving you right here. So the Kerbet El Kum, page 2, primary tomb inscription. While the stone is damaged and difficult to read, scholars generally translate the primary text as Uriyahu the Rich or Prince wrote it. Blessed be Uriyahu by Yahweh, or sometimes because from his enemies by his Asherah he has saved him. So that we can go to biblical archaeology. Tap that, and then to go right into it. But we ain't gonna go into it right now. I don't want to go into it at this moment. Not that one in specific. Let's keep on going. Go back to Deuteronomy 32 and the number 70. Because this is more of that. This is patterns. He's right. We're doing parallels and patterns. We're doing the scholarship. We're doing the work. We ain't just taking takes at his face value after the Jews didn't play with it. The Jerusalem Jews didn't deal what they wanted with it after they didn't lost the Torah for 400 to 600 years. Who knows? Right? We got to observe. So Deuteronomy 32 and it's number 70. In the ancient Jewish tradition, there were 70 nations, right? Lie if you want to. They are right here on the right. In the Ugaritic mythology, El has 70 divine sons. Coincidence or complete inspiration? Many scholars see a connection. El governs all nations, then divine sons are given inheritance. And so happened Yahweh received Israel. This closely matches the Deuteronomy 32, 8 through 9, don't it? Come on, fam. You can't deny this stuff, dude. And then you up here talking about monotheism. You ain't had no monotheism at first. You had monolatry. What's that? Let's talk about it. Monolatry. What is it? It's the belief in the existence of many gods, but with the consistent worship of only one deity. So when you even dealing with the beginning, it's a whole shift. You go from clear absorbing of the pantheons, you go into monolatry, and now you want to, then they start kicking the monotheism when they come out of exile. The earliest biblical laws often assume other gods existed, didn't it? Exodus 20 and 3, you shall have no other gods before me. So that means, so he talking about no consort, no this, no that, strong and wrong. Huh? You can have no other gods before me. They ain't say you couldn't have no gods, below me. You just can't do it like you do me. You can't love them like you love me. Huh? Exodus 15 and 11. Who is like you among the gods? Oh, Yahweh, so it's other gods. Right? Psalm 95 and 3. Yahweh is a great king above all gods. It's funny because the king of the gods, according to the ancient Near Eastern culture, especially in that Ugaritic Canaanite area where they came up and developed the language at, that's what you will be saying about El. El was the king and the father. These passages sound less like other gods do not exist and more like Yahweh is superior to them. Scholars commonly call this stage monolatry, or what others people might know as henotheism. Divine beings become subordinate. Psalm 82 is especially important. It depicts El, or Elohim, standing in a divine council and judging other gods. Rather than eliminating the divine beings, later theology just demoted them. The older gods gradually become angels, heavenly hosts, and princes of nations. Good example is Daniel 10. Where nations have supernatural princes, like I said. And angelic messengers tell Daniel, the priest of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 20 days, but Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. Is this man fighting, or are these supernatural divine beings in conflict? You know the answer, the latter. Few verses later, what does it say? Do you know why I have come to you? Now I will return to fight against the prince of Persia. And when I go out, behold, the prince of Greece will come. Daniel 10 and 20. They are not talking about men. And then there is no, and then it says, there is none who contends by my side against these except Michael, your prince. So we have a prince of Persia, prince of Greece, and then we have this prince Michael. So they're giving you this, letting you know that we dealing with the divine. It's like no physical on the ground work. Daniel 10 and 21, where they announced Daniel as another one of these divine princes. So you see how these original divine beings, who were mostly gods from the other nations, over these other nations, as we see in the Ugaritic, now they like divine princes and stuff like that, huh? Divine prince. Prince of Persia, a supernatural being who's associated with the Persian Empire. We have the prince of Greece, a supernatural being associated with Greece. Michael is the heavenly prince associated with Israel. Later, Daniel says, at that time shall arise Michael, the great prince who has charge of your people. Daniel 12 and 1. Right? We know what's going on, family. So, reduction, page 2, because that's what's happening. They're reducing them. Scholars connect this to the older tradition found in Deuteronomy 32, 8 through 9. I'm going to keep drilling that because that's the debate, right? Where the nations are divided amongst the sons of God, or El. This is why Daniel 10 is often cited in discussions of the transition from the divine council theology to later Jewish monotheism. The supernatural rulers of Persia, Greece, and Israel resemble the earlier sons of God assigned to the nations of Deuteronomy 32. Yeah.
Hey, man, my man, Shay just lit the stage on fire. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, brother Pitbull. Oh, hold on. Let's get
Yeah, he doing it. He doing just what I said he gonna do. Parallel, show no comparative text to what the actual Hebrew text says. He just reading out of their information, telling you about their gods and what their gods do. It's fine. It sounds good, bro. It really sounds good. But when we get into this table of deities and see that you're only dealing with, we start the time already, or I'm just talking?
No, I ain't start the time.
Okay,
well, man, don't let him just freestyle.
You see your rules.
Hey, listen, hold on. Hey, man, who y'all rocking with in the chat, man? We got some people rocking with our shade. We got some people rocking with Pitbull,
You know we got the Israelite vote. You know that.
Hey, man.
I'm about to give Pitbull his 10 minutes.
Did he have?
You ready, Pitbull?
Did Pitt have anything to share? Humble.
Yeah.
Share stuff.
Yeah. Put my slides up there, man.
Yeah, make sure you
share.
Absolutely.
Because
he's steady with these parallels, but he still ain't showed y'all where this northwest Shemitic.
Bro. You want me to show the 10?
Don't stop me from talking. Just put them up there while I talk.
I don't know which one you want me to put up there. That's what I'm trying to get you to which one you want me to put up there.
Yeah, and in the debate, you can't have no extra time to talk. You got to wait till it say start.
That's what he was doing.
Nah, his time was
nah.
As soon as he started talking, I was running his time.
No doubt. Just put it where we stop. I'm gonna speed through these right here though, because you know he doing just what I said.
They in the comments right there. Quan. Yeah. All right, it's on you, Pitbull.
Right. Go up one more.
Go up. You talking about the slide right here?
One slide. Next slide. Yeah. That was the one you going the wrong way.
This way.
Right there. Right. Before I get started on this, I do want to say, pay attention to how he's not recognizing that they're in a specific region where they all spoke and shared the North, West, Shemitic, Davidic language. So why he keep throwing L around like this, saying and attaching it to different people and giving it to different tribes and people group that wasn't even in the same area at the same time. Notice how his timelines ain't even matched up. And then he just shot himself in the foot because he just mentioned 4 different L's from 4 different people group. So how and why is it a problem when the Hebrew people that speak that same language use this as a title to identify the high God, but he has a name in Yahuwah, Yohed Wahed, which means to become, to exist, or unseen. Now, I want to turn y'all attention back to Deuteronomy 32 and 8 and 9, because some older witnesses include a Dead Sea Scroll reading, and the suggested trend reads sons of God / divine beings instead of sons of Israel. But the argument is that Elohim / Most High divided the nations, and Yahuwah received Jacob and Israel as his portion, making it appear that Elohim and Yahuwah are separated, but it's not, because it's layered. Now, when we look at this clear case, right, the original El or Elohim was Most High God, right? Yahuwah is Israel's national deity, so in that nation, El would be their Most High God by title with the name Yahuwah. This is what he don't want to deal with. This is what he keep running from, and this is what he's been running from all night. I played dead in that first round because I wanted to let him dig himself in this L hole where we know, and not hell hole, but L hole, because again, I'm going to take y'all back. They all speak a what? A Southwestern Shemitic language group. So when they're talking about a deity or a god, El is going to be associated to it. But here's where it gets very specific and chronological for the Hebrew people when they attach the name Yahuwah. which means the unseen deity to become or exist in the Hebrew understanding. This is totally different than all of the other L's that he mentioned, right? And then he kind of lied on me too, because I never said that they had multiple L's in that passage. I never said that. I don't know where he got that from. But let's get on to this slide. For an example, another parallel. I'm gonna deal with this real quick. How in the Ugaritic you got Nane with the real. You went too fast. You went too fast. Hold on, go back real quick. The primary text, Inca and Nasuja, in time is one of the 8 deities created by Nunahurst to the healing Inca. And after they ate, my screen, let me put my screen up. After they ate the forbidden plant, the story involves healing multiple body parts. Sumerian IT creates the double meaning rib in life. The biblical Genesis 2 uses Tesla rib side and names the woman Siobhan, the life giver, right? Mother of all living. These are 2 different stories, but they parallel because similarities happen within this understanding. Next slide, bro. I ain't gonna stay on that too long. This is what y'all gotta see, that these parallels are happening, right? And he's not tying these information to the actual people that is following the deity that is giving the orders for what they're supposed to be doing. It's totally different. He's not showing you the same deity in all of these L's. He's showing you emphatically different L's in all these L's. But in the 4th century BCE, Yehud Silver, the British Museum, the script Yahweh stated on the wing wheel preserve archaeology worship of Yahuwah or Yahweh, identified as Zeus or the sun god. So again, here you see them arguing about who this actually is. They don't know who this is on this coin, but they're using a title or attribute in this language group that would depict the God. Now, here's the most damning part of it. We know it's not Yahuwah YHWH because that ain't even what's on the actual inscript. That's the argument that they having. What's on the actual inscript is YHD, totally different deity, right? Now, the silver from that Persian preserved Yehud, ancient Judah, 4th century BCE inscript is likely YHD, referring to previous Yehud, not Yahweh, something totally different. This is inscripted as a clear mix of Greek Zeus-like state or figure and a Persian winged wheel deity like what we see in their pantheons. So now we get to an even later phase around the 4th century where they start to mix that culture. But what we see in the older text from the Hebrew, it's not this. You see? Next slide. Y'all got to pay attention to what this brother is doing. He's very crafty. He's like that serpent in Genesis. That's why he fighting the way he fight. But it ain't going to work because he's only dealing with parallels. Deuteronomy 33:2 refers to Sarim, shows Yahuwah as a desert storm god. And this is one of the things that he's been saying. Linked to the goat demons, meaning like in this story, it ain't just one god in the mountains. And this is where he fails and his argument fails. Because it's not even one God. This is goat demons with an S. It's multiple things going on within this religion. But in the actual Deuteronomy uses this template language during Yahweh's coming from Seir and Seir or Seir. Not he derives that or this is the origin story of him. No, this means he just come through there. There's no findings. There's no actual evidence, solid structure in theology that says absolute. What my opponent is saying is true. And what the text says right here, it does not identify you as a storm god or equal to him in the region deities like Akkad or Ashur. In Leviticus 17:7 referred to the goat demon. So he's calling these very things out in the text, but he is trying to attribute them to it as if it's Yahuwah, the God of the Hebrew people. When we can clearly see they clashing. These different books or these different scripts, these different writings are getting clashed with the Torah's information, dated back from antiqual times, and shortly when these people come into the land, just like with the Canaanites. Next slide, brother. Let me move on down. Just like we see with these other people. Now, the primary text in Yahuwah's description as storm god or rival on the rider on the clouds description identifies him with Baal, but in the primary text shows the Hebrew a sort shows regional storms and warriors language. Psalms 29, Exodus 15, Psalm 68 to describe Yahuwah's power. However, the same corporate presence against Baal was worship and praise Yahuwah as having no consort or rivals. So the imagery is adopted in theology, rejected the Baal cycle and cult structure, actively debated whether it is specific on these things. Deeper inferration, meaning the conduit of it. Now, we see that the sources is the Ugaritic Baal cycle KTU, and compared to Psalms 27, 68, 104, Exodus 15, Kings 18, through Mark L. Smith. So these are things that are still being debated, and they ain't even know for sure that that's what that is. That says, right what I just said, it shows that it ain't, but they don't know, so they going with they don't know. What next slide. What we got to really look at is the adoption of these things in later times because of the language closeness. Yahuwah inheritance El's title, El Elyon, creator of heaven, Elyon, heavens of the creator of the heavens and earth, and therefore the same deity. That's the claim, but the text evidence, correction, and outside scholarly debates, they're still debating this. The Ugaritic El is the high god and the father of the pantheon. The biblical text uses similar epithets for Yahuwah, but moves distinctly towards exclusivity, monotheism. The worship is one, alignment, theology, transformation, not simply identification. Scholarly debate consists on these lines of community versus the distinction in earlier Israelite religion. So the same shit. You can read the text KTU. They're saying that Mark L. Smith is saying that these things are still being argued, but we see so many differences in these two different writing styles and religious faiths that we can't say they're the same. Next slide. We see a lot of similarities is all they saying. Next slide, bro. We dealing with the Asherah was worship, right? Angle, Yahuwah, in Israelites, the biblical curves uses polytheism. Now we see that the Archaic data in script figures suggest popular verses of Asher in some periods in regions. Biblical text suggests determines it as figure, influence, and systematic, and detains between popular prices of official covenant theology is key.
Time, PITBULL. That's time, PITBULL.
So he dealing with parallels, man.
That's time, fellas. That's time, fellas. All right. My man PITBULL got the page out up here. He said, shit, watch this. Okay. Well, you know what? All right. So, since we started off with Ashe, we gonna start.
We got one more round. We just doing 2 rounds.
Yeah, 2 rounds. It's y'all cross examination right here. Hey,
come
listen,
on, bro. Give us one more round.
Y'all about to say y'all know we can. You know we can always slide in one more round. You want one more 10-minute round?
Agree, Pitt? Do you agree?
Hell yeah, I got plenty more. I got 66 slides, man. Let's go.
All right.
Okay, that's
we got one more round. And for
Let's
this
go.
round, we're gonna get a brother's 12 minutes.
Let's clear this thing, man. Let's
Absolutely.
They out here getting this short.
Man, you got to go and show some truth now. You got to put some. You got to come on, man.
Hey,
you got to show me what you were doing. What you said.
Me so good, bro. I know you was on my team like that. I know you.
Man, hey, listen, you ain't showed me nothing yet.
My boy like that.
Me said me nothing yet.
You my boy. Can't get enough of you, man. But let's get to it, man.
You gonna give it up to Ashe? Your 12 minutes start now, Ashe.
Okay, y'all. Now we running. Now I'm just finna run it. No more filibuster and talking in between. Let's go. The exile and rise of exclusive monotheism, because we just talked about the monolatry, right? How they once recognized of the God. So we're watching a shift within their own culture. So he can't tell me that it was an absolute when we're seeing fluidity within the culture itself. The destruction of Jerusalem by Babylonian exile was a major turning point. Prophets such as 2nd Isaiah began making stronger claims like, I am Yahweh and there is no other, right? Isaiah 45:5 says, beside me, there is no God. Besides me, there is no God. So hold on, wait. When we were just reading, he was like, man, you can't put no other God before me. Who's the other God amongst who's better than me? He was doing comparisons and letting you know, like, I'm the king, I'm on top. But now they didn't went into this and they didn't lost the Torah, so they don't know what the hell they talking about over here. Right? So they start adding these texts in, like Isaiah. This is different from the earlier text that merely placed Yahweh above other gods. Now the claim is that other gods are not truly divine at all. More cultural polytheism. Let's look at the Elephantine Jews. The Elephantine Jews were a military colony living on an island in southern Kemet during the 5th century BCE under the Achaemenid Empire. They spoke Aramaic and left behind hundreds of papyri, letters, contracts, and religious documents. What makes them so significant is that they were unquestionably Jews. They worshiped Yahuwah in his words. They observed some Jewish customs and they correspond with authorities in Jerusalem, so they was checking in. Yet their religion looked different from the strict monotheism familiar from that later Judaism. Elephantine Jews, page 2. One of the biggest surprises for the papyri is that the Elephantine Jews maintain their own temple to Yahweh while they were smack dab in Egypt. This is important because Deuteronomy and later biblical traditions emphasize Jerusalem as the central sanctuary, which the Samaritans who have the original Pentateuch also disagree with. Their location, as the brother Morpheus has shown, was Mount Gerizim. The Elephantine community apparently saw no contradiction in having a Yahweh temple in Egypt, right? Elephantine Jews, page 3. Several papyri contain oath formulas and religious references that mention more than just Yahweh. For example, some texts invoke Yahweh and Anat Yahu, which would be the consort. Elephantine Jews agree with ancient Samaritans, like I was saying. Both the Jews of the Elephantine and the Samaritans appear to preserve traditions that challenge the idea that Jerusalem was the only legitimate place to worship Yahweh. Letting us know that the Jerusalem Jews was on some flim-flam. That's how you get the Masoretic and all of that Tanakh mess. The book of Deuteronomy, and I said Tanakh, I meant to say what's the name of it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Talmud. The book of Deuteronomy insists that sacrifices should be offered only at the place that Yahweh will choose. Later Jewish tradition identified that place as Jerusalem. Note, in Deuteronomy, they didn't really give you a place originally. The Jews at Elephantine maintained a functioning temple to Yahweh in Egypt. Even more striking, after their temple was damaged, they wrote letters seeking permission to rebuild it in Jerusalem. That was. They contacted authorities connected with Jerusalem and Samaria, indicating they saw themselves as part of the broader Yahweh worshiping community. So you can't say these ain't your folks. The fact that they had their own temple at all suggests they belonged to a tradition that predated full centralization. Who was Anat Yahu that you just talked about, Ashe? Anat was a well-known Northwest Semitic goddess. In the text from the Ugaritic, Anat is a powerful warrior goddess associated with Baal. At Elephantine, we find references to Anat Yahu. Like I said, the Elephantine evidence becomes even more interesting when you combine it with the inscriptions from Kuntalit Arjuru, like we talked about, and Krebet al-Kum, like we talked about. Now we looking at more than just parallels. Now we looking at a pattern of polytheism amongst these antiquity Jews. Stop playing. And by the way, Anat was also made into a Netcher for the debate that's coming up between Jabari and Reggie. Elephantine and the Samaritans, page 2. We don't really need that. I want you to know that this is the same Yahoo from the Soleb, because they will try to debate and say, man, that was it was a place, but what was the place referencing? Was it referencing the deity that was there? So I want to give you 3 witnesses, 3 different occasions where Yahoo is associated with this deity. So we just seen Anat Yahu, and what they were never saying Yod Hey Wah Hey Elephantine. They were also saying Yahu, this Yod, this YHW. So it's the same way. That was the name that the Jews and Elephantine were using to describe Yahweh. In the New Kingdom Egyptian inscription, the Egyptians refer to the groups called the Shasu, who were semi-nomadic pastoral peoples in the southern Levant. One inscription among the reign of Amenhotep III, 14th century BCE, found that Soleb temple mentions the land of the Shasu of Yahoo. Similar references appear in inscriptions from the reign of Ramses II. The name is usually transliterated as Yahoo because ancient Egyptians writing generally omitted vowels. Many scholars view Yahoo and Yahweh are related. The significance is that the reference appears centuries before the earliest clear Israelite inscriptions mentioning Yahweh. Where were the Shasu? The Shasu of Yahweh were located south of Canaan, in regions associated with, once again, where did God say he was coming from in Deuteronomy? Edom, Seir, Paran. And we also got Midian in the northern Arabian desert, but this is all these southern locations once again, family. What's going on? Why ain't this Israel? We're Canaan. We're the northern region. Matter of fact, where the hell is the dude that Abraham met El Shaddai? Because he was all the way in Mesopotamia with that business. But we'll talk about that package in a minute. These are the same reasons associated with Yahweh in several biblical texts. These are southern territories, not Jerusalem or the central Canaanite highland. And look at my man right here. We famous. You all know this dude, Netanyahu. In his name is Nathan. Is Nathan Yahu. His name means has given. Yahweh has given. Yahoo has given. In his name, he's venerating his deity. This is the same Yahoo, fam. Real Jew. Mari tablets show a title, not a name. So when he said it shows a name, we have a name. You have nothing. So we have this Yahweh in the Mari tablets. King J put me onto this. Yahweh is not a noun meaning Yahweh is not a noun meaning to exist, but a verbal prefix meaning he exists or he is. Found in Amorite personal names like Yahweh Adu, which is Adad, which is a deity, and Yahweh El. So wait. It points to the same root verb behind the biblical name Yahweh, suggesting an ancient West Semitic origin. The root Yahweh derives from the Semitic root HWY, to be or to exist. Ain't this supposed to be your boy? Or you said this was his name? But right here, we have it in way older text, and it's a title, Yahweh, a prefixal title. So it's associated with other gods, Adad, who becomes Baal, and then we have El, who we already been talking about him the whole time. Experts believe Yahweh acts as a verb, rather than being an independent name of a deity ad Mari. The two notable names in the Mari tablets containing Yahweh element are Yahweh Adu and Yahweh El, found with royal archive of over 20,000 clay tablets. So let's go. We even got Shema's preservation in the deity. We ain't gonna go to all of that. We ain't gonna beat him over the head with all of that. Let's keep on going. El says, what do El do? We talking about El. What is his attributes? In the Ugaritic, El is the father of the gods. He's the creator. He's the bull El, which means he's the head. The bull symbolizes strength, fertility, and kingship. Ancient and wise, because he's ancient and wise. He's compassionate and merciful. He's a judge and arbitrator, and he's the husband of Bashir. He's the head of the divine council. He's that man. Yahweh attributes before El. Yahweh, he's a warrior deity appearing in battle and leading the armies, as we see with the early Israelites. He's a storm deity, like what he just talked about. He just proved my point, associated with thunderclouds, rain, and lightning. He's a mountain deity connected with Sinai, which is a mountain. Sierra, a mountain. Paran is a mountain. He's in other desert mountains, right? He's a desert deity originating within the southern wilderness rather than the traditional Canaanite heartland. He's a divine marcher, depicted as coming from the south in power and glory. Like I said, he marched from Seir. He's not a creator. This reconstruction, the earliest Yahweh looks less like the aged patriarchal El and more like a powerful southern warrior storm god whose coat entered Israel and was later identified with El, eventually inheriting El's titles and authority. The key evidence comes from the southern origin poems, the Shasu Yahweh inscriptions, and passages such as Deuteronomy 32, 8, and 9, especially the Dead Sea Scrolls reading where El Elyon appears to assign nations to divine beings while Yahweh receives Israel as his portion. We even got Jeroboam at Bethel, which means Beit El, house of El, right? And he has bulls all through his shrine. I just said that El was the bull. So according to the biblical account, Jeroboam, son of Solomon, he's a Hebrew, he's an Israelite, established a co-center at Bethel, right? At Beit El, house of El, and placed a golden calf or a bull image there. In 1 Kings 12, 28 through 9, 28 through 9, Jeroboam is said to have made 2 golden calves and declared, here are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. He placed one at the house of El and the other at Dan, famous for the Tel Dan stele. But y'all quick to try to validate yourself through Tel Dan. But he had the bull El over at Tel Dan. Tell the truth. Scholars often note that in the ancient Levant, bull imagery was associated with strength, kingship, and divine power. In the Ugaritic religion, the high god El was frequently called bull El. Right? Let's keep going. Scholars. Othmar Kiel studied ancient Near Eastern iconography. I get that solar symbolism. We don't want the solar symbolism. Let's go into this right here. Nassim Amzalad points to the striking evidence that the biblical book of Psalms is preserving Canaanite attributes of El, points to this storm god epithet, right? We got Glenn Taylor. Taylor's book, Yahweh and the Sun, is a major academic studies devoted specifically to this topic. He argues that the solar symbolism played a significant role in the development of Yahweh and worship in Jerusalem. Mark S. Smith, who he quoted, Smith is better known for his work on the Yahweh-El relationship, right? And the divine council, but he also argues how Yahweh accumulates traits over time. Man, boy. Ooh.
Hey, that's time, y'all. That's time, y'all.
I mean,
listen, we're gonna get into it. I can't wait to get this cross-examination.
Wait.
Go
That
ahead.
wasn't time. I accidentally hit that. It was 10:54. He still got a little bit over a minute left.
Okay.
I accidentally hit that too fast. I apologize for that.
Go ahead, Ashe. Keep getting it in.
All right. Smith, better known for his work on the Yahweh's relationship to El and the divine council, but he also discusses how Yahweh accumulated traits for multiple deities over time. In his reconstruction, Yahweh absorbed functions and symbolism that have once belonged to the other divine figures within the Western Semitic pantheon. Right? We'll go on again. Thomas Romer in The Invention of God. He states in his book, when the worshippers of Yahweh settled in Canaan, they came into contact with the god El, the head of the Canaanite pantheon. The integration of Yahweh into the Syrian-Palestinian world was achieved primarily through this identification with El. This identification was relatively easy because El was an old, wise, and benevolent God whose attributes could easily be transferred to Yahweh. Keep going. Michael Coogan, this is a 2-for-1 on the head. Lecturer on Hebrew Bible at Harvard Divinity School and director of publications for the Harvard Semitic Museum, author of a brief introduction to the Old Testament. He says, Coogan outlines now how the ancient Israelites did not initially reject Canaanite religion, but rather grew out of it. He often points to the visual symbols like the golden calf to show how attributes of El, who was regularly symbolized as a bull in Canaanite myths, were applied directly to Yahweh. He says, originally, Yahweh and El were distinct. Yahweh was a god of localized origins in the south, while El was a Canaanite pantheon. Damn. I can't get this slide out.
You through.
All right.
Cause that trash anyway.
All right. I can't get that slide out.
Nah.
Let him finish the paragraph.
I ain't gonna let him sit up here and keep lying. Then we just say we can't have no more extra time. When I tried to do it, yeah, you telling lies.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do it. That's how it go. That's how it go. No,
I ain't heard you go to Torah yet. The only thing you went in Torah for was to get the word El. You ain't broke none of these people customs down. None of these people traditions down. None of these people histories. None of what they did. You ain't dealt with none of the Hebrews.
Get your slides up there.
Okay. Yeah. Get my slides up, man. I'm gonna go to work on this boy with the Torah now. I'm gonna dedicate this whole round to what the Hebrews did. Because you just talked about them going.
Did you say quantum? Hold on 1 second.
My bad. I say for hitting that too quick. You was going in, man. I had my finger over it. I accidentally hit it. But I think I accidentally helped you because when you see how much time you had, you actually start going a little bit faster.
Yeah, I speed up a little bit. You're right.
Sorry, I can't let
you. You got a lot of information out real quick in that 1 minute and a couple seconds. But it's trash.
Hey, I got your which one you want me to bring up, Pitbull?
We're gonna keep going with that because I'm gonna be bouncing from the slides, but I really wanna the way he came. We got to deal with the text because he's frameworking this against the text and what these people were doing with their God. But remember, you can start the time and just put the slide that we stopped at up there. Yeah, and we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna deal with What you got going on? Go to the next slide. We already dealt with her. The Asherah.
Your time starting now. You ready?
All right, yep. Right. So the herbal or the arbor society class of ethnic Asherahs, these hold on one second, y'all, my bad. These Abaru in Amiri letters are directly ancestors of the Israelite. This is a claim that is being made through theology. But again, notice how he keeps bringing up all of this history that is still being argued with no solid saying, right? This is the inscript right there. No solid saying of actually what they was doing, right? So the primary societal class term merges or disposit groups in the late Bronze Age Levantine possibly connects to early Israelite emergence in the highlands exit, but direct ethnic identity is debated. So he's keep giving y'all this information that's still being debated, and a lot of theologians would say is outdated. My sources is the immortal letters in the archaeology data on the Iron Age in the Highlands discussed in its work on Israelite origins. So these would be the same scholars. We've been naming the same scholars because they all do this, but this is what they're arguing about. He's trying to say it as if it's absolute. And how we distinguish that is we go and look at what the people did in their book. So let's go right here for a second in Exodus 20:2. And it says, I am Yahuwah, thy Elohim, thou shalt have no other gods before me, thou shalt not make unto thee engraven image. What has he been showing you all night? Even this, look, you see it? That's a graven image. This is not the same God. Because look, they make engraven images of these things. But in the Hebrew text, it's strictly forbidden by this L. I'll play his game and put L on it as a title like he been using it all night. And now we'll never know the difference. And I can throw any pantheon on it when I'm using a title. But when we're talking about this information in Exodus, which comes from Yahuwah, YHWH, Yohei, Wahei, right? It is telling us, right, that we can't deal with none of these other gods. First of all, right, Deuteronomy 5:6. I am Yahuwah Elohim, thou shalt have no other gods before me, thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. So again, we can never leave out the text that he started this debate on, which is Deuteronomy 32 in chapter 7. But you notice how he ain't dealing with the text to solidify nothing. He's only throwing you outside sources, which I've been showing y'all all night, are only parallels. Deuteronomy 34 Exodus 34:14. For thou shalt worship no other God, for Yahuwah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous Elohim. This one is a clearest worship, one God only. No matter if they had ancestors that was already under this God and they start breaking his laws, that don't change. He had the laws. He still had the laws set out for them. So because they did go against the law, does that mean their God is the same as all the other gods? No, because their God speaks against all of those gods. You can't ignore the text because you started the debate based on the text, but you've been running from the text all night. I'm here on you, boy. I'm here on you. Deuteronomy 6:13, for thou shalt fear Yahuwah, thy Elohim, serve him. You shall not go after other gods. Deuteronomy 32, and what says he divided the nation according to, and this is his Uterigid idea that would try to parallel with this, but it goes obsolete against it. So if he's saying that the Hebrews believe that, why does they text say, right? Why does they text say something totally different? Don't go after these other gods. Deuteronomy 8:19, and it shall come. My screen went out. And it shall be if thou do. Hey, hold on. Hey, come back. Okay. Where did I go? Oh, hold on. My screen jumped off. I was cooking. Okay.
You still here, Brody? You still here? We can hear you.
Where did my slide go though? The
You
one I
hear?
was on. Okay. Hold on. I'm almost back to it.
All right.
One more.
I stopped this time.
All right. Yeah.
Was that all right?
Yep. Yeah.
right.
So he can make sure, so he can see what he's doing.
Okay. All right. I'm back, bro.
You
I'm
back?
back.
All right.
Yeah. Y'all started my time back. Did it get paused for me? Because my screen here when I'm working
Yeah,
off two
your time
devices.
got
You
paused.
can go to the
for you.
next slide on this one for me.
Yep, I
But I'm
got
showing that Yahuwah said don't deal with all these other gods, right? In the Hebrew text, which is the people that's worshiping their high god, which is Yahuwah, right? Now, next slide, bro. Next slide. Why I can't move it down? It's got the live 120, the time over my slide. I can't even move it. Can you slide it down?
Hold on, I got you. Give me a second. All right. Hold on.
I was just able to do it, but now I can't. Because it's covering some of the title.
So I think what I gotta do is take it out of what's called.
And I know it's because I'm on my phone, bro.
All right, there you go. And you want me to slide it down? So let me
It's
put
cool. I could make it a little bit bigger than that. Because when I try to zoom in on it to read it, yeah, that's better. I just have to deal with it like that.
it. All right.
Go to the next slide, bro.
I got you.
Is that better right there? Can you read it until you can read it? Then I put it back up after you read the big part.
Yeah, I can read it like that. That's better.
All right, and once you get past it, I'll just make it back bigger.
Right.
Tell me when to start your time and you go.
All right. And I was cooking, man. Let's get back to it. Just start the time. So we can clearly see again all of the evidence, the inscripts prove in this Kun tablet, a jar and script, Yahuwah and his Asherah. The script provides Yahuwah has a consort. The Hebrew text does not give that same account. So this can't be the same God. This can't be the same information. This is two different people group doing two different things. Next slide, bro. So I want to deal with Deuteronomy 32 context, sons of Moses, the scripture, because this is a song of Moses, right? Now, the Song of Moses frames the entire passage when Yahuwah explicitly, strategically covenant. He makes a covenant with Israel, the sons of God. Language serves to highlight that Yahuwah's possession is specifically Jacob and Israel. The song repeatedly confirms Yahuwah, or Yahweh as he's saying, as the only God who acts in history and judges false gods. So again, if the Hebrew text is showing that it judges false gods and gods that is not it, then it can't be the same as all these other gods. When in the same construct, it also tells you that other gods are lesser or nothing and they should not go into them. Now let's deal with, because he keep talking about the Israelites serving all these other gods. Look, in Jeremiah 3:8-10, both houses, Israel and Judah, Yahuwah says, why do you keep doing that, bro? The house of Israel and Judah has broken my covenant, which I had made with their fathers. So before we even understand through the ideal of Israel and Judah who the fathers or who the God was, they had to go through a whole temperament. Jeremiah 3:8-10 says Yahuwah has given backsliding Israel a bill of divorce, but Judah saw it and slipped and fell as well. So Israel and Judah fell at the same time. This talking about them going and worshiping all these outside Israel nations that are in that region. And we done discussed all the gods that's over there. We understand that they're still speaking and is speaking in the same family language group and shared roots. So when they talk about a deity, it may be the same, and he even showed that in his own presentation that it's multiple L's. So which L is he trying to say? Because we see all these L's are different, and then he's trying to associate the biblical text to say that it's an origin story when it does not denote origin at all. So we got to deal with those facts. Next slide, brother. Psalms 106 and 19 said they have a calf in a.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. We done lost Pitbull.
Of an ox. So,
hey, Pitbull, repeat what you just said because your audio went out.
What the hell? Psalms 106, 19 to 21. They made a calf and heard and worship the molten image. They changed their glory into the similitude of an ox. So this God of Israel says don't worship the calf that he kept trying to say is their God. The cow, these images. This is what Mark and Smith's got to say. The parallels show Israelite hold on, it's jumping around. There we go. The same way he been referencing all night. Now watch what he say. The parallels show Israelite region evolved from Canaan polytheism with no unacquired revelation. Now look, this is what Mark say. Real historical indications and culture continue exit. Hebrews text shows profound theological transform towards exclusive, right? Covenantal mentions. Now, Yahuwah, the primary text, afflicts Yahuwah as the only God, covenant with Israel. So here we go. They came up out of all of these different Canaanite gods because we just read in the Hebrew text that it said the father broke the covenant. So that means they already had a God because their fathers already had a God, right? And we already discussed all the other gods of these surrounding nations. So again, what this is showing you right here, between cultures emerging, theology dissolved into central to evoluting origin claims. This position remains subject of scholarly debate. So they still debating, trying to figure out, is it the same in their eyes? But when they look at the text of the Hebrew people, it shows too much separation. So it's got a lot of linguistical echoes because of the language group that they share, but it's saying they don't have enough in the text of the Hebrew people to say that they're the same because they're doing totally different things. Next slide. Here we got scribes and power structure shaped the Hebrew text to support early polytheism. So again, this is what the scholars are saying in the text evidence correction, outside scholarship debate. They still debating. Sources played major roles in. That's time.
All right. Okay, my man Pitbull came back. Hey, Quantum or A1. We see brother A1 back. Hey, come on, yo. Poll in the chat. A voting poll for Ashe and Pitbull. Hey man, my man Pitbull went in on that heat right there. I don't know. Hey Pitbull, mic check one time, Pitbull.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, man, I wasn't able to get on my computer today, man, for some strange reason. It wasn't even My screen was just black, man, so I had to work off my phone, man.
Okay.
There was a lot of technical difficulties tonight, man. I'm glad y'all made it though.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, Quana, we gonna do 8 minutes for the cross examination, and we gonna start with Pitbull cross examining Ashe.
all right, bet. Before we
That ain't how
start
that
this,
work.
before
Why it ain't?
Yeah,
Why
Ashe
it ain't?
start the first round.
that is how it works.
You started the first round. They said this at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's supposed to switch. And why you could? What happened to the 10 minutes? Too long?
No,
they
No,
did
they
10.
did
No,
that
they
round
did 10
already. We
minutes.
actually
They
just
did.
gave a third round just
That
now.
was a third round
That
for
was a
12
third
minutes.
round.
They had two 10-minute rounds and then a 12-minute
Hey,
round.
listen, the chat was in here asking for a third round, so I had to give them a third round.
They got
No, I was
super
talking
chats
about the
jump.
Q&A. The Q&A.
Oh, the
10
Oh
minutes
Q&A.
yeah,
each.
so we ain't going. So that's the cross examination. We just gonna let them. You know, we gonna give Pitbull 8 minutes to cross examine Ashe. We gonna give Ashe 8 minutes to cross examine Pitbull.
Let's go.
I don't know how to. Big Titan. Before y'all start, when will you take over and make the camera right and stuff and do the?
Oh, my bad. For the Q&A,
Yeah,
Got you.
so it's just them
Make a
and stuff.
layout?
You know,
hold
well,
on, I got you.
you
real
know
quick.
how it's just them and stuff. You know, I ain't
Yep,
that
I got it.
technical with it,
I'm on it right now.
but we got it started, boy.
Hold
I
on.
say
Give
was
me
on.
one
I
sec.
say was on the nigga neck. I'm glad I can fly up.
My
out the
apologies
way.
for oversleeping, gentlemen. Luckily, I have an amazing team, as you see. They held it down and got it together. I woke up at 5:30 and thought I was gonna lay back down for an hour.
Over with.
And it's 9:30. I'm waking up. All right, give me about 60 more seconds. We got Pitbull over here. Make him big. Humble could be small with us. Okay, we got a new layout made for you, gentlemen. Let me make our shade a little bit bigger. Make y'all the same size. Save. Here we go. New layout. Everybody's in their right spots. Let's get it. Back to you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, this the question. That's humble. That's your job. Go ahead. Huh?
All right, so this is the cross examination. We're going to do, let me carry him up. This is the cross examination. So we're going to start with Pitbull with the 8 minutes. Pitbull, you can ask questions. Ashe, you can answer the questions. The reason I'm making it cross examination is because I want you two brothers to mix it up in there. I know y'all some respectful brothers, so I know we ain't gonna get too crazy. So we ain't gotta put y'all on a restricted question answer round. So y'all already know, just don't drag out the questions too long, and don't be trying to don't drag out the question and don't drag out the answers. But let's get it in there. Pitbull, time start when you start talking, bro.
So I want to ask you, in Deuteronomy 32:12, continuing on from 7, right, all the way down to verse 12. When you get in verse 12, it reads, and Yahuwah led Israel, and there was no strange God with him in the actual text. So I would have to ask you, why are you associating any other El Baal deity within this passage when the passage itself says there was no deity with him or no deity exchanging anything?
And you said that, and that's after Deuteronomy 32, correct?
That's the same verse. It's the same verse. It's just down from verse 7 where we started when you made that claim. If you keep reading, when it talks about he divided and gave all the inheritance and all these things
that we talking about, correct?
It's that verse. It's just from 7 all the way down to 12.
Verse and you're saying another verse. Is it Deuteronomy? Is it Deuteronomy 32? Is it Deuteronomy?
Yes, it's Deuteronomy 32
and 8.
It's 32 and 12.
Or is 32 and 12? So it's after the verses we talking about, correct?
Deuteronomy 32 and 12.
Yeah, so that's after 8 and 9, right?
So this is right after. This is right after he makes the inheritance given.
After 8 and 9, you don't have to do that. We know what we know. We know how to count. 12 is after 9, right?
I had to make sure.
So what's taking place is what I've already kind of discussed within the presentation. At that time, by that time, yes, because he has been allotted this space for him. He is now the most high of Israel. But that's his inheritance, that's his land. So why would there be anybody with him if it blatantly already said that? And for Yahweh, Israel is inheritance. And then you go on after that verse and you say what you just said. So that's why. Duh.
No.
That's kind of plain as day. You're saying no. So maybe you shouldn't ask questions that you feel like you have a preconceived answer already. You already have the answer to. That's funny. That's not genuine. That's facetious. That's not how we end. That's not how we do cross-examination. So you can keep on going because you're not done. You're still on the clock.
I thought it was like a little rapid fire popcorn Q&A type thing, but so that's your answer?
Of course.
Okay, what's your question?
That ain't how this works.
No. This your 8 minutes, Pitbull.
Oh, I got a full 8 minutes to just ask a question. Okay. I thought we were going back and forth.
Man, you know how we get it in, Pitbull.
No doubt. No, I really honestly thought that.
Go ahead.
So in Exodus, you said that Yahuwah didn't have an identified name. So in Exodus 3:15, when Moses took the commandments from Yahuwah on Mount Sinai, and he came down after Yahuwah giving him the name, how did he give him a name if he didn't have a name?
That's not a name. That's not a name. As I showed within my presentation, that we see it's a title, for we see Yahweh of Samaria, Yahweh of Timon, where it's giving a descriptor. It's not a name, bro. You should know
it doesn't. It doesn't say Yahweh.
Or is it literally means what does Yod Hey Wah Hey mean?
Yahuwah.
That's how you pronounce it, of course.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah, exactly. Enunciation and pronunciation is the variation of the title. It's the attribute of the title. So when it says he's out to,
Of the title, you say?
No. What I said was, when you say what you just said, it's not the text is verifying and clarifying that it's the name outside of, because he says it in Deuteronomy 32:7, and in Deuteronomy, what is that? 34:14. So again, how are you saying it's not a name when he said, "This is my name throughout the generations forever"? So are you saying that the text is a lie? And what scholar are you to say that? That's the question. That's the question right there.
That was a good question that you just asked. Was the text a lie? With the Masoretic understanding that I'm pretty sure you subscribe to, because you're not a Qumran Jew. I know that for a fact. I know you're not a Samaritan, right? So we see that more than likely you're subscribing to the Jerusalem. And you say it's a text a liar. Yes, actually, if you was actually to look at the Samaritan Pentateuch, the Greek Septuagint, and then look at the Masoretic, you'll find over 2,000 conflicts. You'll find over 2,000 issues and problems and differences. So that's the reality of what's going on with the text. But no, you keep going. I don't want to overtalk.
My whole thing is, again, you're only pointing out parallels and denying the text that all scholars abide by when discussing these things. And in fact, we're having a debate on this very thing from that book. So now you say the book is a lie, but you would have to prove the book wrong, whether you believe it's a lie or not. You got to go based off of the information that is in that text. I just want to clarify that. Now, my next question is, when we see that the Edomites have their own god by the name of Kos, is QSO, right? They got their own deity. So you said that this is an Edomite and a Canaanite god, but they actually have their own national god, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
They absolutely do have their own national god. Edom does. You want a fact check?
Yes.
Let's get a fact check real quick.
The reality of Coast.
Can we hold on, wait.
The reality of Coast.
Wait.
Let me speak. I mean, hold on, wait, because you said something, and
we got to just go to the fact checker, right?
Coast.
Yeah, it's the national Canaanite god.
Yes. Kos was the name that we see within certain inscriptions in association with the deity, right? But this is the thing. But this is the consensus on Kos.
No. Let's deal with the sources from the scholars.
Hey, is this how you want to do this?
But I'm saying you're trying to now. But we already asked.
The issue is that
we already asked for the fact check.
No, I know we didn't. No, we're not.
Yes, we asked for the fact check because you said it wasn't.
I didn't see.
So now I'm saying let's prove this to be true.
We didn't talk about the fact check.
What do you mean? So you saying right now you don't want to check that fact, Mr. Fact Source up? Shut up. Let's check it.
May I respond? I'm asking the moderators. May I respond?
I don't have a problem with you responding, but it's my question and answer. You're on the hot seat right now. I'm asking you to answer to what I'm asking you to answer to.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second, Pitbull. Yeah, Ashe. Go ahead, respond.
Fuck y'all doing, man?
Go ahead.
So are we saying we don't have to answer the questions accurately? We just get to give false information?
Hold on, Pitbull. Let Ashe respond.
This is the reality, dog. And you want to fact check this? We gonna fact check this. And we can fact check afterwards. After you give your pseudo point, after I give my point, then we can take it to the fact check. The consensus on Kos is that they don't really know who the hell Kos is. They know it was attested within Edom, right, and associated to some later Edomite king names. But the scholarly consensus is they still are heavily leaning towards the side that this is still just another name to describe Yahweh. For when you see that it's a vase in the head of this horned deity, but there's no inscription around it, centering it, that says that this is Kos. There's nothing around that says that this is Kos. They just see Kos within there. They know Kos was worshipped. Now we can fact check that. We can fact check.
So okay. It's my 8-minute question. Now you saying skip. Hold on. You saying 1 second, but it's my question and answer round, right?
No. The bomb just went off. That means not shit.
Wow. So, that's crazy.
Hold on though, because y'all did ask for some fact checks here. Did ask for some fact checks here.
Yes.
Now, what was it that y'all was asking to be fact checked?
He said that Kos. He said Kos.
I said, let me answer him. Okay. I said to fact check that Kos, QOS, is the Edomite national god, and it has archaeology associated to it.
And you got that?
Yeah.
And my point was that stance, as far as the horn deity being, they don't know who Kos is, and they're still even arguing that Kos may have been.
No, that's what you saying.
Edomites were referring to Yahweh.
That ain't what my sources say.
Bro, can I just talk, bro?
I mean,
let him get his question out. You gotta let him get his question out.
So you can look up what I'm saying, look up what he's saying. I'm not taking no validity away from he's saying, but he does not.
I'm the one that asked for the fact check to what I said.
Among scholars, that this may be a cosmic.
Oh no!
I mean, when you look it up, you'll see. I don't have
Hold on. So with the fact check of both of y'all fact checks came back valid. Kos is a Edomite god, but Yahweh was also worshipped, and so a lot of their artifacts get messed up, and so a lot of people associate Kos with Yahweh. Kos' origin is unknown. They just know that he was worshipped. Right. What we're gonna do is, though, real fast, so we won't take up too much time, is we're gonna get the Ashe cross-examination 8 minutes. Let's get it, Brodies. Whenever you start talking,
you didn't even show.
Ready?
You didn't even show the source.
Well, I noticed what I peeked throughout this whole debate that we was having, Pitbull, was that you were talking about the Shasu, you were talking about all of these southern areas. You even talked about these. You even talked about Canaan in a little bit, like the Highlands. I heard you reference the Highlands. So,
absolutely.
And you referenced the deities in that region. Who was it that Abraham came in contact with while he was still in Mesopotamia under this title El Shaddai? Who was that?
Are you speaking of Melchizedek?
No, no. What was the name given to Abraham?
Abram. The name given to Abraham was Abram.
Are you serious right now? What was
Oh,
the
you talking
name
about the
that
name
God
of the
presented
God?
himself
Oh,
as?
El Elyon. El Elyon.
What?
El Shaddai.
El Shaddai. Thank you. Third time always a good one. Now,
Right.
who was that? Who was that?
That was a deity, right? Or the title for deity from that language, but it would have been Yahuwah Elohim, because in the Hebrew text it states that they didn't know him by his name Yahuwah. They know him by Al Shaddai.
Why?
So the text clarifies what they mean, and here's why. Like I just told you, this is a regional thing, and you refuse to accept this, but you showed it all through your presentation that it was multiple L's all throughout the Levant region, and multiple facets of L and different attributes of L and different types of L all through that region, because that is only a title, especially in the Ugaritic, that is denoted to deity, Most High God. But when we get specific, there's no specifics in it. That title.
Calm down.
Nah, ain't that.
So you have no way of showing me that all of these L's that you brought out tonight are the same.
You overloading your answer.
Nah, you just overloaded your answer and said everything you wanted to say. Let me know when you're done.
I gotta moderate, man.
I'm saying.
Is I say 8 minutes? Is I say 8 minutes? Good, I say.
Oh, come on now.
So so before you filibustered, what is the reason that the other Israelite, why did God have to come up with a new name? Why couldn't he come to Moses with the same name that he had? And why is it that we see this guy, Yahuwah, he's coming from the south, right? Marching from Sierra, Paran, all of these places down south, but you still say that this is the same guy that Abraham met. How does this southern deity get all the way up north in Mesopotamia?
Because they were close in trade route. They did a lot of things. But when you say this God and that God, this is what I just told to you, and you still refusing to accept the fact that this is verbiage. It does not denote the same God. The God of the Torah doesn't do the same as that one up there. When I showed during the debate in my first or in second round that they had, hold on, let me finish answering the question. When I showed in the second round that all of the deities in these surrounding areas, right, dealt with these pastoral people as well, pretty sure they probably took some of that way, because they're talked about in the Egyptian tablets. But moreover, what they were actually doing, right, in worship and in praise, is something totally different than what they were doing up north where you mentioned it. So you would have to prove and solidify through the faith and customs of the people that they was doing the same thing under Yahuwah, the God of Israel, in this Elo person that you're speaking of on the other side. That's why I'm telling you it's only parallels. That's all you've shown. All debate was parallels.
All right, that's filibustering.
It's not filibustering. I'm answering your question.
He answered the question a long time ago. Now that's filibustering. Come on, man.
Come on, man. You don't like the truth, bro. It's okay. Next question.
You wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be there to do that in court, bro.
Next question.
That's not how this works.
Next question.
Now, anyways, you didn't answer my question. Now,
I did.
You keep on saying that there are many L's. When in my presentation, what are the many L's that I presented? Since I said there are many L's, would you like to present at least 2 L's that I presented? At least 2, since there are many that I mentioned.
You mentioned several L's.
Who?
From, watch this. You mentioned El Elyon. You mentioned El Shaddai.
I never mentioned El Shaddai within the presentation.
You just did. Yeah, you did.
I just told you that now. But
no. Stop.
I just mentioned that.
Stop. You just tried to use this with the elephant.
You were already saying that.
You
were already saying that. Right?
I was allowed to answer the question, bro. See, this is how you know he gets cut. No, I'm not, brother. You asked me. Bro, you asked me to answer your question.
Bring it
You
down.
just
Bro,
brought out
stop,
El
bro.
Shaddai within the last, literally
Can
within
I answer? Can I answer the
saying.
question?
My whole presentation,
May I
you
answer
have
the
been
question? You
saying
don't have
I
to
ain't
blow
talking
your.
about
You don't have to
many
blow
L's.
a head gasket, brother.
So
Because
what
you're
are the
taking a
many
beating
L's?
right now.
What are the many L's?
I just told you too. I answered your question. Deal with it. And the fact of the matter is, you ain't showed nothing to prove this is tied to the God of Israel, not one bit. Ask your next question, man.
Hold on. This is what you're
Ask
not
your
going to
next
do.
question,
You
man.
just said El Shaddai. You just said El Shaddai was
We're
the
talking
God of
about
Israel.
attributally.
You just said
We
El
ain't
Shaddai
talking
was
about
the
no
God of
titles.
Israel. But then in
I'm
this
not
one,
talking about no
you said that
titles.
these L's have no association to the God of Israel.
They don't.
What is it going to be?
They don't.
I don't
They
know if you're going to
don't.
let him to talk this way. This is
Okay.
wild.
Can I answer what you just said?
This is
The
what?
reason I keep stressing this to you because you're not comprehending. It's like going one ear like
You
the
don't have
other
to
one.
stress anything.
No. Let me say this. I
Examination.
gotta say this
It's not
because you
your
keep
chance to stress
saying
anything.
you keep
You had
saying
your
what I
opportunity to
already
stress your
told you.
points.
Listen, you keep saying what I already told you when it
Answer
comes
the
down to
question. Don't
the
be misleading.
linguistic.
Get in and get out the way.
That's what I'm doing. When you look at the linguistics and how they phrase things, like God, the term El was used broadly. It was
Okay,
not a
what is El
specific
Elyon?
term.
What is El
What?
Elyon?
You already broke that down. It's
I'm
high
asking him
God.
a question he's not going to
It's
answer.
high God. It's the high God. That's
Hold
what
on,
it
wait.
means.
What does Elyon mean then? What does Elyon mean?
The chief deity.
What?
It's chief deity.
Well, it got the word El in it.
What is that? All right.
So what does the El and Elyon mean?
The El in Elyon means all. High God.
What?
God. In the
Okay, the
in
El
every other.
Elyon means God, right?
Uh-huh.
Now we getting somewhere. Now
These
you
are
being
all
honest.
titles.
So what does the
This is
L?
what
So what does the L? What does the first L before Elyon mean? Because it's El Elyon.
all
So it's God.
this is why you said in the debate earlier,
Don't
oh,
stutter.
they had to change it. Look, they had to change it. And if you was to walk that down and we fact check, they're gonna say they changed it because they didn't want to repeat that same word. So absolutely yes.
Yes.
It
Okay.
is.
I got
It
one more
would be.
question.
It would be.
Family, and I need y'all to pause it because I need y'all to go into his slide for this one. Please go back into the slide that has Mark S. Smith on it.
Mm-hmm.
Go to
I got
that
a bunch
one.
of those.
Pull
I
that
got a
up,
bunch of
family.
them.
Pull it up, family.
I got a bunch of them.
Pull that up, Humble.
I
Share
thought
the
this
screen,
was
family.
I thought
I
we were
stopped
doing
the
questions
time.
and answers.
I stopped the time, and since he asked for the time stop, I should let y'all know what time it is. It's 7 minutes and 21 seconds. So, Pit, you got time to pull up your slide because he asked for
Humble
it.
got the slide.
Yeah, have him pull it up.
Humble got him.
And then
I got y'all.
And then you got to get to explain your answer. Then
He
I
said
said that might have been the wrong time to ask for that.
Mark S. Smith, right?
Yep. The one with Mark S. Smith on the picture. The one he said Mark S. Smith was quoting, but he ain't let us know what book, no nothing.
Your cap. Your cap.
So go back to Mark S. Smith.
Is this one?
Right.
Yeah, right here.
So I'm going to read it. I'm going to ask him a question.
Okay, restate. Yeah, read it. Restate your question.
It says here,
wait, hold on.
real historical interaction and cultural continuities exist. Hebrew text shows profound theological transformation toward covenantal monotheism. What does transformation into covenantal monotheism mean, brother?
This means, just like the text would tell you, the nation of Israel's fathers had a covenant with that same God before they broke it, and it was passed still on to their son through the covenant of Abraham in his seed through Ishmael. So they did. Stop. Let me finish answer. Brother, you have to. Bro, you ain't gonna let. Stop, bro. If you not gonna let me answer the question, bro, don't ask me no question. Y'all gotta debate. Hey, listen, y'all gotta control this dude. He asked me a question. He asked me a question, man. He asked me a question.
We're gonna let Pitbull answer.
He answered it, bro.
No, I didn't finish answering. You cut me off while I was in the middle of answering your question. Stop running from the Bible. that's what you're gonna do. Stand on it, cause you started a debate about it, so you got to deal with what's in it.
All right, sum your question up. What you say, Pitbull? What you say?
I got to stop that 7. I got to stop that 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
7 minutes and 45. All right. Sum your answer up, Pitbull.
So I'm gonna finish answering my question. His question. The fact of the matter is, the text itself tells you why that took place. They went into idolatry and was punished for it in different provinces and captivities, and we can see that in history where they were captives in different regions, all throughout that Levant region and abroad.
That's the answer. That is his answer. Now, that contradicts what it says, because you are now saying that they had a shift and moved into idolatry, but with your own source says they had a transformation and moved towards, which means they're going into something, which means they're going into monotheism. That's a difference.
No, it's not.
8 minutes. That's the 8 minutes, y'all. That's the 8 minutes, y'all. All right. Now we're gonna get into your 5-minute closing.
For real.
Oh,
let's give them a 6-minute closing.
6-minute closing. Let's get it.
They want to touch on, so they can touch on. Is that enough time for y'all? What y'all say?
Yeah, that's cool. I gotta get up out of here. My wife done got home anyhow. It's been fun for real.
Cool with that?
Get out. I'm gonna take a shower.
Go.
All right, 6-minute closing.
It's on me, right?
Yeah, we're gonna close out with Pitbull, and then
No, it's on Ashe, ain't it?
It's on you, Pit. It's on you.
I'm just messing with Ashe. I'll start my time. I'm gonna close it out with this right here, man. It's gonna be short and sweet. I'm gonna use the whole 6 minutes though, for sure.
Time started.
All right, so I appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. In closing, I want to just close with the fact that the brother never showed anything that is not still being debated among scholars as solid proof. And he's doing and playing into their theology of let's see what we can do and see how much we can prove with this ancient history. And it's shown in the history that there are so many differences within the way that the people worshipped the God of Israel versus all the other pantheons. Each individual nation in that area had their own God through pantheon, which he did a great job for me on showing that they were so set apart. Israel being, and you know, all he did all debate long was show parallels on how these people did what they did through language in the way that they verbalized their God and their deity and how that they used their deity. That's what he showed. He couldn't show you no text to prove that he was the same deity in Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32 and 7, verse 7 to 12. I proved that the text solidified that it was only one El. So however he chooses to flip that and turn that, however he tries to position that El would still be referenced as the God of Israel to no other people. So again, it's ontologically a unique deity for a specific people, just like all the other pantheons had a specific, unique deity. So what he wants to do is he wants to rob Yasharal of their culture, deity, and associate it to others, because remember, they didn't know him as a specific name, right? Then we see clearly they had a covenant where it was still supposed to be monotheistic through Abraham, but they broke that covenant. So he can't get away from that. And there's no way we can see this any other way, because that was the basis of the debate. And he failed to prove two deities within that text. By any standards, could he have won this debate? Now, what he did do a great job is show that there was so many deities in that region being worshipped by the people of the actual geographical locations and borders, you know, in their respective lands, worshipped just how they did. But what he did, again, failed to show is how this equated to the laws, statutes, and commandments and the rules that are within the Torah. I showed you guys over and over and over where the God of Israel told him don't deal with other gods. He was going to smash other gods. He didn't want to deal with other gods. And he was the ontologically supreme God over all gods. So again, it's no comparison to what he brought out tonight through the Ugaritic and the Elephantine and any of these other pantheons that are outside of the Hebrew people's culture and traditions. He can't deny that fact. And this is what we've seen all night from my end in what I brought out in this debate. Again, pay attention to the parallels. Know and understand the antiquatal structure and how these different deities was in different places and worshipped at different times, how he tried to pull them all together as if it was going on all at the same time when it was people migrating in and out of that region, like he was saying, and I was saying that I agree that was bringing other deities and all of these different things to that culture. But what he did was he used a modern consensus to put up the argument that they're still arguing to this day with zero certainty or truth to the matter, because they haven't concluded that absolutely it is. But we do see in practice, culture, and customs, they're complete obsolete and opposite. The only thing that would make them be a resemblance is the verbiage, because they spoke the same family root origins in Afro-Asiatics languages. That's what we see, and that's what I showed all night tonight. And I appreciate everybody for being here. I want to appreciate A1 and O. In the Coliseum over here, the debate lead for having me, and shout out to Ashe. How much time I got?
You got five minutes and 3 seconds. So that means
5 minutes.
you got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes and
1 minute.
57. Oh yeah. I forgot, not 8 minutes. We doing
yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, we doing
6 minutes. Okay, cool. I'll wrap it up with this. Like I said, no problem. Yeah, I want to thank the league for having me again. A1, all y'all, good people, everybody for pulling up. It definitely was a good one, and you know we got to definitely see that this brother didn't pull any understanding in with what he brought out, but he did put up a good fight. And I'll wrap it up right there. I yield my time. Hey, I see you, girl.
Share my screen, please. This white dude took all that time to talk about me and flatter me. I'm gonna keep giving y'all information.
Whenever you ready, I say just start him up.
So what we have right here is an excerpt from Yahweh and the Gods and Goddesses of Canaan by John Day. This is what he got to say about Yahweh and El on page 13. He said, where Yahweh and El originally the same deity. What was the relationship between Yahweh and the Canaanite god El? In the Old Testament, Yahweh is frequently called El. The question is raised whether Yahweh is a form of the god El from the beginning, or whether they were separate deities who always became equated later. The Old Testament itself indicates some sense of discontinuity, as well as continuity in both the E, which would be the Elohist, and the P, which would be the priestly sources coming from the documentary hypothesis, imply that the patriarchs did not know that the name Yahweh, and that this was the first revealed to Moses, which we just discussed in the Q&A. In contrast to the J source, right, to the source where the name Yahweh was already known in primeval times. The P source specifically states that the patriarchs had previously known God under the name El Shaddai, which he just admitted. In the 19th century, J. Wellhausen believed Yahweh to be the same as El, and more recently this became particularly argued by F.M. Cross and J.C. Moore, D.E. Moore, right? However, then following arguments may be brought against this. First, in the Ugaritic text, the god El is revealed to be the holy, benevolent in nature, whereas Yahweh was fierce as well as has a fierce as well as a kind side. Secondly, Menninger has rather emphasized the earliest evidence, such as that found in Judges 5:4 of chapter 5, verses 4-5, associates Yahweh with the storm, which was not something with which El was connected to at all. Rather, this is a reminiscent of Baal, right? Right? So we see this right here. So he said, I conclude, therefore, that El and Yahweh were originally distinct deities that became amalgamated. This view was held as long ago as FK movers and has been argued since by scholars such as Eisfeld and C&D Menninger. This is these guys. That's just one. I want you to share my screen again, so you might have to pause the time just briefly while I go to this other source. Right? Because this dude is wild. We'll go over here. This is on El Shaddai. You got it up there?
You up?
Regarding El Shaddai, the most widely, this is what it says. And this is why we go get out of here. This important title, often found in connection with the name El, is found in several biblical passages and references to Israel's God, Genesis 17:1, etc. Numbers, Job, Psalm. El Shaddai is P's favorite title for God before the revelation of the divine name to Moses. What is meaning? But what is the meaning? And what is this historical derivation? Traditionally following the Septuagint or ancient Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, which uses Pantocrator, and the Vulgate, a Latin translation by the Bible by Saint Jerome, which uses omnipotence. The term has often been rendered in English translation as Almighty, but it is now generally considered that this interpretation is fallacious and possibly stems from a similar sounding Hebrew word SGD, meaning to destroy. Some modern scholars have suggested several other possibilities, such as connecting it with the Hebrew word Sad, meaning breast. However, since El Shaddai was a male deity, this seems somewhat unlikely. Another suggestion is that it's related to the Hebrew word Sadeh, meaning field. However, this root uses a different sibilant, which is sin, and its root that rather than Shaddai does, which is Shin. The most widely accepted scholarly view is that El Shaddai means El, the mountain one, relating Shaddai to the Akkadian word Shadu, which means mountain. Besides being a strong cognate, there are also several other historical factors that seem to lead to this conclusion. For instance, F.M. Crosses noted a Hurrian hymn, which specifically describes El as the one of the mountain. El, the Ugaritic. The word is often used to describe the Amorite deity Ilu Amuru, whose consort is Astratum, the counterpart of the Canaanite high god El's consort Asherah. Moreover, Deir Allah inscription uses Sadin in parallel with Ayin in its references to the gods of the assembly. Finally, El and his divine assembly are met on a mountain. We talked about El and his divine assembly. Given all of these factors, then El Shaddai very plausibly means El, the mountain one, and it's most probably originally a divine title or epithet derived from the Canaanite high God El. Notes. I have relied primarily on John Day's discussion on this epithet in his section El Shaddai and Yahweh and the gods and goddesses of Canaan, which we just read an excerpt for. So we are now seeing that, bruh, it's clear that it's monotheism, it's polytheism in this joint. When you show Mark S. Smith, he said y'all had a transition, y'all had to transform into this monotheistic ideology. El Shaddai is not Yahweh coming from the north, coming from the south. Because how does this Seir Puran God who's coming from the south, it's coming from the south, and then we got this guy who was meeting this dude all in the north in Mesopotamia, El Shaddai. We see what's going on. Because even the Mari tablets, which is still going more northern, we see that El was a deity there. Yahweh don't appear as no deity there. Yahweh around these times, before biblical times, was down south, Midian, Edom, Seir. That's where he was doing this thing at Shasu. Mesopotamia, you go up there, they got mentions of El, the old high god. And it's not your guy, bro. That's what happened when you're dealing with a text that has all of this cross-cultural information. Abraham is born in Mesopotamia. He travels to Canaan. Right? So first of all, Israelites, give up the Levantine identification. You need to be looking more at Mesopotamia because that's where your forefather coming from. Right? Totally different from where your God coming from. Just in case you might want to make up your mind. Is it El Shaddai or is it Yahweh? I know it was cool for y'all to put them together because that made sense to you. But that don't make sense when we actually doing the whole layout and we observing the origins of these people, the gods, and where these gods dwelled. Huh? God ain't never said he was from Mesopotamia. He ain't never said Yahweh, who came from Mesopotamia, who came from Anatolia. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I'm done, bro. Do the poll. Let's see what's going on. See what the people feel, man. We ain't got to drag this out.
That was a Harlem Shake, man. He just did a Harlem Shake.
Don't need to feel it.
That's all you just did, man.
Drop this off the screen, Quantum. Yep. Hey, man, that was a... Oh, let me go back. It came up real quick. Hey, man, that was a heck of a fight right there, man. I really enjoyed that, man. Anytime I get to see my brothers go back and forth, get in the ring, go at each other like that is always to see. Hey, man, I see these brothers on the regular, bro. But for everybody out there, we know y'all been engaging. I see you, brother Capone. I see you get engaging in the comments. I see you, brother Ben Eaton. We appreciate you as well, brother Ben Eaton. Hey, man, give us who you rocking with, man. Type down there who you rocking with.
I'm putting the poll up right now.
I was just about to go over to you, A1. If you want to poll up or something.
No, go ahead. Hold it down. While I get this right.
Yeah, what it?
I'm trying to get some.
Oh, go ahead, Connor.
I'm trying to get some of these. What's up, everybody in the chat, man? Y'all was very active during the debate. I'm trying to get some of these super chats out. We had some super chats throughout the debate. We're gonna get them out. Couple. We got to represent for them that support Titans Debate League.
Yeah, big shout out for Titan Debate League, man. A1 and Humble Mystic for holding it down, man, and hosting me, man. It's my first event over here, man. It feel good, man. Feel like home. I'm gonna do my thing wherever I'm at, man. Excuse my language, man. Y'all know my passion. Y'all know the way I'm gonna kick it every time I'm here to kick it, man.
Yeah, man. I definitely want to shout out the Titan Debate League, man. Y'all, appreciate y'all for having me, man. And like he said, shit ain't my last either. I'll be back through here to kick it with y'all, man. I'm definitely gonna do mine every time. We rock out. Shout out to the brother Ashe. It was a good debate. Pseudo from his stance, but it was a good debate. You know what I'm saying? He brought a lot of information, for real. So I'll be back for sure. Do my thing some more.
I say you on the cam up. I say you on the cam. Yeah. I say you on the cam up and say something.
That loud, boy.
I got to get everybody on the big screen. Hold up, them that just got down. What up? You want to say something?
I already said my spiel.
Yeah, he said his spiel.
All right, bet.
Hey, come on, play the 16 tournament joint.
Bet. Because we got it coming.
Coliseum of Arguments presents Titans Debate League, Clash of the Titans 1.1. The arena is opening once again, and only the strongest minds will survive. After an unforgettable first tournament, Pandemus the African Atheist fought through the battlefield of ideas and walked away with $500 in cash. But that was then. This time we're raising the stakes. $1,000, one champion, one title, one chance to prove you're the greatest debater in the league. This isn't social media arguing. This isn't trolling in the comments. This is intellectual warfare, where evidence is your weapon, logic is your shield, and every round is a fight for survival. New challengers are stepping into the arena. Veteran fan favorites are returning. Egos will fall, legends will rise. The question is, do you have what it takes to survive the Coliseum? We still have a few tournament spots available. Think you belong among the Titans? Message TitansDebateLeague@gmail.com and claim your place before the gates close. Coliseum of Arguments presents Titans Debate League, Clash of the Titans 1.1, where great minds don't just debate, they go to war. Are you not entertained? Coliseum of arguments, only the brave speak here.
Hey, and I definitely appreciate both of you gentlemen tonight. Y'all put on an amazing show. Definitely brought that fire to the stage. Pitbull, it's my first time seeing you in action. I'm liking what I see, brother.
No doubt.
Definitely gonna have to set you up with something else.
No doubt.
Definitely. And yeah, you know, I'm not gonna say too much. We about to do an after show. And let me get that. I gotta get y'all a poll finished. I'm trying to do it on my phone, and I think I should just do it on the computer. But actually, I got it. Yeah. Can you start the after show so we can keep this tight for the judges? I am gonna have this judged based on the scorecards. Shay didn't get a copy of the scorecard, but I think he held his own, so we'll see how that goes. And again, you guys can go off of the poll or the scorecard, whichever you like. But I'm gonna just go ahead and put it through the regular math like we normally do.
No doubt.
We got. Let me try to. You want me to keep this going?
Well, I don't. Can you start it without kicking us all off the stage like you do? Want to keep this tight for the judges. It's a regular debate. We should we such an after party with it because I don't want it to.
I think I can be able. I can start a new within this. Everybody that's on the stage will be here. It'll just be that everybody in the chat will have to repost it.
Don't talk when we go announce the dub.
Give him about a week. I'm gonna send it to him in the morning, and then we can do it next weekend.
We y'all gonna do the poll. We y'all gonna do the poll.
Yeah, I got to do it on my computer. My phone won't let me do it.
Okay. I just
so hold on. Yeah, let me. I can't talk and chew bubble gum. Somebody else talk real quick.
Okay. Y'all hit me with that Kiss Happiness package, man. You got that Kiss Happiness package. Oh man.
Hey, Pitbull. How I feel to be on a big stage, bro.
You know, this ain't my first rodeo on the big stage. I done debated on YouTube multiple times. You know what I'm saying? In the ring with this brother multiple times, debated you a couple of times. So, you know, it ain't nothing new. You feel me?
We did it right? We only did the Ring of Fire once.
Huh?
I think we only did the Ring of Fire once.
No, I'm saying, you know, we done debate. Me and you done debate on the Ring of Fire, TikTok. We was all in the alley. What I'm saying is, you know, man, it's another debate, man. You know, I definitely enjoyed it. I like the environment for sure, man. We're gonna be definitely doing as much as I'm allowed to around here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, listen, you definitely got some shucks in the comments.
Yeah,
Definitely got some shucks out there waiting.
And that's cool. I know a lot of people don't like the Torah, man. They feel like it's made up in these things, and then they do what Ashe just tried to do. And this is why I seen one person say, he just made Ashe's point. No, I didn't make Ashe's point. What I did was I showed that Ashe's point does not parallel with what the Torah says. And what the people of the Torah
who said that
was sweet. The only way, I mean, we can't say F the
that
Torah.
was one of the most intelligent Israelites I know who said that. Yeah, that's why that stuck out to you. That was Brother Kasai who said that. And Kasai is very intelligent. But so for him to say that, for him to say with that comment that you just made, when you said that somebody said that he just made his point, that was Brother Kasai said that. And
no, well, what I'm saying is,
and that's what happened when you just put in work in ChatGPT, and you don't go back and actually read your work. That's why you was up in there saying stuff like Israel transformed into monotheism. Like, like
again,
wow, bro.
that was never said.
Okay, gentlemen, the debate is over. The debate is over. No more rounds.
Sweet.
The link is in the chat. Go vote. Everybody take that link. I'm gonna post it in a private chat for you gentlemen right here. Take the link, go vote. Send it to your peoples. Do what you gotta do. People in the chat who saw this, we'd appreciate if you hit these polls first, as you should. Hit the link for everybody. Go vote. Go vote. I thought I'd be out here saying
that. Don't send it to your people if they ain't see the debate.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too. Like as I was saying it.
Oh yeah, vote for me, man. Hey, this it, man. This the link.
That's why I'm gonna have it judged, because sometimes it can be that, and it can be whoever got the bigger entourage. You know.